One of the most important things upon admission of a patient and family into hospice, my first meeting with everyone, is to certainly define what we do, my role on the hospice team, and my role is to help link patients and families with resources in the community if needed. And some of the resources that are frequently looked into and people appreciate might be Meals on Wheels, Lifeline, looking at whether there's any resources in the community available to help pay for any special goals that a patient and family might decide upon when they start their participation in hospice. It might be, for example, folks looking forward to graduation. It might be celebrating an anniversary together. Might be attending a wedding. And there might be resources that might be needed in order to have that come about. Also looking at paying for an anniversary dinner by way of resources that we pull from the community. There's something known as the small gift program, and that's one resource that I do try to access when possible. And they will grant up to $150 for a particular need for a patient or a primary caregiver. And the need might be that attending a high school graduation that's out of the area or having that special anniversary dinner. It's certainly not funding that hospice puts in, but I'm able to find different resources such as the small gift program in order to help folks out. Other resources in the community might be whether there's funding available for extra fuel through a community program. So we can facilitate that connection so the money is there when it's needed for a patient and family for fuel. In addition to the role of accessing resources or helping patients and families plan with their own personal resources as needed, we also provide emotional support. Emotional support for the patient, emotional support for the family and various family members, might be grandchildren as well. Coping strategies could take many different forms. Of course, it's all very individualized. So being able to look at historically what has been in place and what's been helpful. Behaviors that we can promote would be perhaps a patient recording their thoughts and feelings on tape. Starting a journal could be a way of better coping. It might be renewing their religious faith if they've stepped away from that. And that would be where the social worker and the chaplain might work closely together in order to have that in place for a patient and their family members. Conflict control or conflict resolution. Sometimes there can be a great deal of physical distance as well as emotional distance between a patient and family members. And being able to make that contact. I might make a phone call to a son who lives in another state or a daughter who lives across town but hasn't been there to see her mother or her father, just to learn their perspective, what emotions are they feeling, what would be the best way that I could make a connection between the son and the patient or the daughter and the patient. So it's very much patient and family driven. We don't have our own agenda as social workers or anyone on the hospice team. It's basically a patient and family focused and driven support service. Hospice does not take over the care of the patient. There's an identified primary caregiver, and we support both the patient and the primary caregiver. The primary caregiver is the person who will be on the scene or perhaps live next door and be responsible or primarily support the fulfilling of the needs of the patient as they change over time. We are a supplement support for the patient and family.